Hi, I'm Albert Ellis, and you just caught me reading my best-selling book, Overcoming Destructive Beliefs, Feelings, and Behaviors, from which I'll read you a quick excerpt to summarize what my book is about. Prior to discussing the intricacies of rational emotive behavior therapy, otherwise known as REBT, I did state how the overall goal of psychotherapy is to help the client disturb themselves less emotionally and enable them to lead happier and more fulfilling lives, which is on page 17 for you who wants to look it up later. Following this clearly stated goal, I emphasize how there's a difference between helping your clients to feel better and helping them to get better. Namely, the difference being helping your clients to feel better is a much more short-term process and it's not as comprehensive. After discussing the broad subject of psychotherapy, I begin to talk about some of the foundational ideas of REBT, namely how it's a postmodernist and constructivist therapy approach. And I then go on to describe why I switched from rational emotive therapy to rational emotive behavior therapy, following which I examine some of the advantages and disadvantages of this method. And I also go on to discuss some of the special features of REBT that separates it from other cognitive behavioral therapies. And not only is my method of REBT therapy applicable to individual therapies, the REBT therapy style is versatile in nature and applicable to group therapy, marriage counseling, and family therapy.
Good morning, Dr. Ellis. I have 4 cases for you to analyze today. Each are students from North Central College, one from each year, and the videos have been emailed to you.
Thank you. I'll get right on that. After reviewing the 4 cases, I've broken up the specific areas into 3 groups where I believe each of the subjects needs to improve upon, namely coping, career, and acceptance.
I like to play basketball and hang out with my friends on occasions, and we drive around and do stuff.
I should just go to sleep, honestly. I'll sleep on it, or I'll just take a nap so I forget about it for a little bit and then deal with it later.
Well, through constant and daily work. That's how you do things.
Constant work?
Constant work, yeah.
Nice.
And the schedule. And the to-do list.
A to-do list. Nice. I like it.
I just like to relax. Try not to focus on those things sometimes. If I ever am experiencing any type of stress, I'll just hang out, go do sports, or hang out with some friends.
With the freshman, sophomore, and the senior, I noticed that they all share a very avoidant style of coping with their stress, whereas the junior showed exceptional tact and skill when it came to dealing with stress and anxieties. And for the freshman, sophomore, and the senior again, this avoidant style of coping is only a temporary solution at best, and it doesn't really get to the heart of what their problems are. And in future sessions, I would teach them more problem-focused coping mechanisms so they can more effectively deal with their problems and avoid any unnecessary rumination that would otherwise prevent them from reaching their goals.
So you gotta go to college so you can get a really good job, so you can pay for it.
Do you really need school to get a good job?
I believe so, because I don't want to do anything that doesn't need school, like construction or other crap like that.
Yeah, you probably need a career, because whether or not you become an entrepreneur or you're doing something, anything you do is technically a career, and anything that'll drive income so you can provide for yourself.
Of career, the freshman and the senior seem to show signs of masturbation when talking about what they wanted to do after school. And masturbation, by the way, is when someone raises their wants and desires to these absolute must-haves that anything less would be complete failure. And if they were to continue down this path, they would most likely be completely driven by masturbation and would most likely avoid any other activities that would otherwise be considered healthy. And in future sessions, I would help the freshman and the senior to learn to put their desires in perspective and be much more realistic about the goals that they set.
It's hard to wake up when the shades have been pulled shut.
I guess in a way, not primarily, but I guess I can see how that could come into part. For example, like I told everyone, like I was transferring, like I'm like, yes, I'm leaving, I hate North Central. Then it's like if I come back for like, because I said it last year, my freshman year, see, I'm a sophomore. So it's like if I come another year, like I'm leaving, it's like, oh, you're full of shit. You're full of it, you know, like you said you transferred for like 2 years and now you still here. So I guess it's kind of acceptance, and also because I don't feel really accepted by my peers in North Central. Like, you know, as a minority, as a student of the minority, it's kind of, you know, difficult to like connect with people from different backgrounds and economic statuses. So it's kind of like, it's really hard for me to like make friends here and like fit in and like getting involved. I mean, I have gotten involved in the track team and like, things like that, but it's like even when I do get involved, I still feel like at the odd now, so it's kind of like for my benefit. So I feel like if I do transfer, I probably will be accepted by more peers, people who are probably more similar to me, and it's also more diverse, so then that way.
The sophomore subject seemed to be the only one who actually struggled with the idea of unconditional self-acceptance. Based off her response, it seems that much of her identity is wrapped up in what other people think of her. And by basing her evaluation off other people's standards, she begins to lose sight of what's important to her and like what really matters to her. And in future sessions, I would help her to focus on, like I said, what's more important to her, help her learn more effective goal setting so that she can live a more authentic lifestyle and avoid any possible anxiety.
I'm not entirely sure how to answer that question.
Do you let others' opinions about you affect you reaching your goal?
I would say no.
No?
No, I don't.
It's you and your goal?
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would be involved in anything that I do.
Still on the topic of acceptance, something that I found rather interesting with the junior was that when we brought up the questions of like whether like regarding acceptance and other people's beliefs, the concept seemed somewhat foreign to him, as if he didn't really understand the idea that like people look for acceptance in the eyes of others. And this could be attributed to cultural differences. If anything else, that was probably the primary thought that I had on this matter. In conclusion, I'd like to remind you that REBT can be applied to families and group therapies along with students, and that if you wish to learn more about REBT or Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, please consider reading my book, Overcoming Destructive Beliefs, Feelings, and Behaviors.
I'm just trying to play basketball, get money. That's it.
How about your grades? You say in basketball, you failing Spanish.